Hi everyone. A lot of courses are going online these days, and I decided to share my setup for online teaching. Now, before we go on, my setup is mostly for video recording rather than live lecturing, but all of these tools can be used for live lectures as well. So what this video is about, first of all, this is my own setup on and I'm using a Mac, but most of the tools that I'll discuss, they are available for both Mac as well as Windows, so you shouldn't have much problem with that. Secondly, this is not a sponsored video, so all the tools that I mentioned, I'm just using them myself. It's not a recommendation, and in some cases I believe I may not have done as much exhaustive search as is required to find the most optimal tool that is efficient and is applicable. And the last thing is that my criteria was that I had the minimum set of features that I require for delivering online lectures or making these videos, and I just made sure that tools that I'm using, they fulfill all those requirements, and along with that they are efficient to use as well as they are cost effective. So all the tools that I'm using, they are divided into these 5 categories. First of all and foremost, for video recording, you need a screen recording software. Now there are many options out there that perform screen recording, but they provide a very basic set of functionalities. That means you can record your screen, but there is not much functionality available to perform editing later on. Whereas I needed something where I can later on remove audio from some part, I can cut off some part of the video, I can post some notes on there with in the form of images as well as in the form of text, and also I wanted that I can have a video inside a video as well. And for that I'm using Screencast-O-Matic. It costed less than $2 a month, and it's doing perfectly good job in providing all these features, the minimum set of features that I needed. Along with this, in the same category, we also need a noise cancelling mic, but if you have a good mic on your laptop, maybe you can skip over that, but I'm using a noise cancelling mic as well. The second is a pen tablet, because you'll be required to write on some kind of a tool to draw tables. It is very hard to do that with only a mouse available, so you need something like this that you can use for writing. And there are again a lot of options, and there are Wacom tablets, and there's a whole range of them there, and the one that I'm using is GraphicPal 3. The only thing that is required is that it shouldn't be very small, otherwise you will have tough time writing onto the screen. So that's the second one. The third is a presentation software. An example could be Keynote or Microsoft PowerPoint. The important thing is whichever you have, make sure that it has a functionality to switch to the pen, in which case you can write onto your PowerPoint or the presentation that you have. So this is a critical requirement. The fourth one is a whiteboard. This is a simple tool that provides the same functionality as a whiteboard or a blackboard inside a lecture hall. You can, and it has a lot of space. You can draw on that, you can write on that, and you can keep scrolling, and everything is saved, which you can later on share with the students. And the last one is screen drawing. Whereas the whiteboard is a dedicated tool, this screen drawing is a tool that you can use to write anywhere on your screen, whether you have a programming IDE open, or you have an Adobe Photoshop open, or you are working on Unity. You can use this one to draw or annotate on the screen. So before we go on, I'll just give you a look at all of these tools. I cannot show you the screen recording or the pen tablet. I have already shown you. You already probably know about Microsoft PowerPoint, and the only requirement is that you must have this pen feature. This is mischief free. This is an app available on Mac, and it looks pretty much like a simple application like a paint. And the important thing is that when I use this, I can just write over here, draw whatever I like, and I have unlimited space. I can keep writing and keep going in any direction I want. So I can have this as a big whiteboard which I can later on share with the students, and of course I can undo as well. And the last one is screen drawing. It is over here. The name of this tool is Screening, and this tool is also available. It's free and it's available for Mac as well as Windows operating system. And the good thing is that it doesn't matter what you have open. You can simply select the pencil and you can start drawing anywhere you like. You can write, and you can of course clear whatever you have written. Now there are two types of courses. One is the type of courses that are presentation driven. A faculty member needs a PowerPoint to present the entire work, and they have to go to a whiteboard to respond to some questions or give extra description. So for these type of courses, I imagine the only three things that are required are a screen recording software, a pen tablet, as well as a presentation software. You do not need a whiteboard or this screen drawing tool that I have over here. Why is that so? Because you have your PowerPoint open, you are presenting something, and you can always switch to the pen mode, after which I can start drawing on here, and I can write as well. It won't be as good as you are used to on a paper, but will still do the job. And may I suggest that at times you should have some empty slides as well that you can use as a whiteboard. So whenever you have a question or you need to go and describe something in much more detail, you can open this up and you can draw right onto this. And later on you can save these annotations as part of the PowerPoint and share them with the students as well. So this will be whiteboard and the PowerPoint combined into one, which is, I think, a very useful functionality. So this is quite useful, and in case of a presentation focused lecture, you will need just these three. But then there are some courses like technical courses where you are teaching programming, or drawing courses where you are using Adobe Photoshop. You need something much more. You will be using a tool for teaching programming. So here I have a tool open, and in this tool I have some Python code written that I want to discuss with the students. And if I have to tell them more about how the Boolean variables work, I can go to this whiteboard and I can come back, and in case I have to show something in here, I can switch to the screening software, and after that the explanation is pretty easy. We are doing typecasting over here, taking input from the user. This is the try block, there is an accept block. So that was about the hand-on courses, in which case you'll need all these tools, and I'll post the links to all the tools that I referred to in the comment section later on, so you can directly have a look at the tools that I mentioned. There are some critical tips, and the first and the most important tip is do not forget to press the record button, because you don't want after 40 minutes of recording you are trying to find a stop button, but you find out that there is no stop button, there is a record button because it was never pressed. So that is the most important tip that you should take note of. Second, have a sticky note with all the major shortcuts. So if you are working in the PowerPoint, you should know you can use Command P to switch to a pen and Command A to switch back to an arrow and things like this. So some specific commands will be very useful when you are using. Third tip is, if you are using on the Mac, make sure you disable auto show and hide of the dock, as well as you disable the hot corners that you have. This corner, the lower left and the lower right, these hot corners should be disabled, as well as the dock. Otherwise, when you are using the pen tablet, whenever you are going to remove that, most of the times one of these hot corners will be activated and you will have something on the screen that is just a distraction. So please tell me, what do you think about this video, and if there are any tools that you think should be in here or they are very useful or more efficient, let me know. I'll add that into the video so that it can be useful for others. Thank you very much.